The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Everybody, it's Jeff over at MetaStock. I hope you're doing well. Thanks for joining us. It's good to see you today. We're going to start, as you can tell, 1 minute, 50 seconds. So, looking forward to it. Welcome. Thanks for watching the video. Hello, Alibaba. Thanks for saying hi. If you can hear me, say hello. Also hit the like button. It helps a great deal. Let's see. One of the things that I will tell you about is like next week. We have a very exciting event coming up. We are going to do, we're going to come in and do like 46 hours worth of education, investment, well, I would say advice, but just education around the markets with different market experts that we work with. And so I'd recommend you come. It's free of charge. If you register, you're going to be eligible to get like free prizes. You get all the recordings, all of that stuff will be available for you. And it's going to be a huge conference, 47 hours. We're running it from Monday morning to Saturday afternoon. It's going to be great. So I did put the link in there. If you just go to metastock.com/traders-conference, you can go see it. Hello, Paul. Hello, WeRV. Okay. 40 seconds. We'll see you in a second. metastock.com/traders-conference. We'll see you next week.
Hi. Oh, sweet. Awesome. All right. Anything else I need to do? But we can just dive into it, right? Yeah. Great. Thanks everybody for coming out today. Just a quick introduction. My name is Derricott. I have been at MetaStock. I think I'm going on my 19th year here. Great place to work. Love it. I've been in the sales department for that entire time. I've also done a little bit of traveling, presenting to people in person, which I thoroughly enjoy. And yeah, with that, I'll get started. I'm going to kind of try and keep things simple, but also maybe show you some new things if you are a current customer or if you want to get started. I'll hand out some good trial offers that we have available. And for those that aren't on the current version of MetaStock, we can also discuss those types of things too. But anyway, let's go ahead and get started. Got to read the little disclaimer here, and then we'll move forward quickly. This demonstration is designed to instruct you on using MetaStock and accompanying software plugins, and is not a recommendation to buy or sell, but rather guidelines to interpreting and using these specific indicators and features within the software. The information, software, and techniques presented today should only be used by the investors who are aware of the risk inherent in trading. MetaStock shall have no liability for any investment decisions based on the use of their software, any trading strategies, or any information provided in connection with the company. The disclaimer underneath is for options traders. Basically, they have the same idea that trading is you trade at your own risk, basically. So with that, let's get started. I wanted to, first off, just kind of get a shout out to our awards that we have won the last 30 years in a row for the best technical analysis software. And I really like to point this out kind of in the beginning because that's how long we've been around. We've been around for 33 years, actually. And out of those, that many years, we've been the top charting analysis program for 30 years straight from stocks and commodities. They also have they're a really good magazine for different tips and things like that for trading. We typically have some articles in there as well. So it's definitely a really good magazine if you're not subscribed to it. And like Jeff said, if you do come to our conference next week, then I know we do some different offers associated with some free subscriptions and stuff like that. Anyway, so what I'm going to talk to you about today, I'm going to talk to you about what we like to call our MetaStock PowerTools. Different features within the software, or maybe not everybody is a MetaStock user. Maybe people that are attending today are on other versions or not the current version. So I like to show the charts and I'm gonna do some scanning. We'll run some back testing. I'm gonna dive a little bit into our forecasting tool and show a little bit on the option side. But with that, I'm gonna go ahead and open up MetaStock. We've already got it open actually. So for those of you that are new to MetaStock and are not current users, and this is basically your UI interface where you can open up your charts. You can open up what we call our quote center app, the explorers, the scanning, system tester, forecasting, and then the option scope is how we analyze the options. But to open a chart, all I do is just type in right here the symbol. And I always get this question for new users is why do I have to put a .o at the end, because that's the one that's traded on the NASDAQ. As you know, Apple is traded on other exchanges outside the US. So when I first open the chart, I'm just going to get a clean bar chart like this. Now this is where MetaStock has a lot of power because you can customize this as much as you want to. So I can come in here, I'm going to go ahead and just double click on the bars. And just to give you a quick view, these are all the different chart styles that MetaStock can provide you. So I'm going to actually use the Hikinashi candles. And then we'll just go ahead and click OK. And that'll change that to the Hikinashi candles going forward. And then for applying indicators, it's very, very simple. MetaStock has the ability or remembers the last 20 indicators you last used. So you can come over here and just click on, we'll do moving average. And also MetaStock can, what we call smart plot, where it plots the indicator where it feels the best fit on your chart. And that's something new to MetaStock 18. So we'll go ahead and just drag and drop that on the chart. And then we're going to just keep the time, just change the time period to 12, kind of have a little bit of customizing here. And then we'll click OK. And I want to make sure the scaling, So then in the past, you also had to change the scaling, but now it just automatically changes to display scale on right to make sure it calculates everything properly. I'm going to go ahead and here, another one that everyone likes, we'll just do MACD, drag and drop that on the chart. And as you notice, I didn't have to open up a new window, it just automatically just put it on the chart. I like the Bollinger Bands one a lot, actually. So you just drop those on the chart. Let's just change things around here for a second. And that just color codes it automatically. You can take these options off, but I kind of like that, actually. So anyway, you can kind of see you've got tons of different indicators on here. That's just kind of some basic charting. You know, if I want to use my drawing tools, I can actually measure from one point to another based on percentage, or if I want to put arrows on the chart, whatever I want to do. I'm going to actually delete off the Bollinger Bands so you can see what I'm doing. And then we are going to click on trend line, oops, properties. And now I can actually put like a left and a right arrow if I want to. One I actually really like is the performance from one point to another. And you can show it in the label or whatever, however you want to display that is completely up to you. And then we'll just click on, oops, sorry, show label. So then you can see like how many points, what percentage from how far that stock or whatever chart you have open went up or down. That's something that I really like. For those of you that like trend lines, that's kind of cool. And then you can save these as the default. All you have to do is go back into that properties box and right here, use the drop down, just save as your current settings. And that way, each time you plot it, it'll plot that way. But yeah, you can see MetaStock has all these different types of drawing tools. We could do our fan if we want to. A lot of people like using that. A lot of people are really into Fibonacci's. I like the projections myself more than any of them. So you can just kind of drag and drop it where you want. Then I can also make different settings in here. I could change color and styles if I want to add lines. A lot of people are always wanting to do that. And that's something new with our current version of MetaStock, that you can change the colors, add lines for your Fibonacci, and then save that as your default. Again, just clicking on the default arrow there, save current page as default, or pages, however you want to do it. But then you can always reset it as well. So those are just some neat things that you can do within MetaStock, that things that you can do with the program and charts and this and the lines and things like that. However you want to do it is really completely up to you. And I just wanted to put one more indicator on here. I like the CCI one a lot too. So now that I've got the chart the way I like it, I'm gonna kind of delete some of these things off. Okay, so within MetaStock, this is a question I always get for new users of MetaStock, is I want to make sure that every time I open the chart, it opens up this way with these indicators, what have you. So you can just right click on here, choose save as default template. You want to replace your existing, you're going to say yes. And then each time I open up a new symbol, it'll open up with that instead of what I had previously. I don't want to take too much time showing you the basics, but yeah. Sorry, I lost my train of thought. Because I want to get into the scanning functionality into the program. But so let's go ahead and open up my Power Console again. I'm gonna go ahead and just click on the P right there. And now I want to explore, or what we call our explorer is called the scanner. So we're gonna go ahead and look for the momentum indicators. So in here, I can actually, what's quite nice with the new version of MetaStock, I can type in the name that I want to use. And the one that I'm going to use is called the momentum indicators. The indicators that it actually uses for scanning is, here's kind of the other nice thing that I like too, because sometimes I don't remember everything that it scans for, but I know it's a CCI, stochastic, RSI, and MACD. And then if you want to go into the actual full definition, you can just double click and it'll show you everything there, which is kind of cool. So let's do a scan on momentum indicators. Before I do that, I want to hop back over to my one of my slides, and I kind of got ahead of myself. So when we talk about momentum indicators, like I said, what this scans for is the stochastic, the MACD, the RSI, and the CCI. There's all different types of way that we can analyze the market. A lot of us like to do trend or volatility and volume, and that's kind of the reason why we have such a good following in MetaStock because we provide all of this type of indicator line studies and things like that to help you find and analyze these types of conditions in the market. And you can scan for all of these if you want to. And these are things that are already built into MetaStock. You don't have to be, I get this comment a lot. Well, I'm not a programmer. Well, neither am I. It's actually a very simple program to use once you get the hang of it. And it also has a lot of power to it as well. But for right now, I'm going to go back to that, and then I'm going to kind of skip ahead, but I don't want to waste any time, so I can show everybody everything I wanted to cover today. So I'm going to go ahead and click or check the box for momentum indicators. And then I'm going to use, let's just use the S&P 500. And then I'll go ahead and just click on Start Exploration. Oh, before I do that, let me explain what I'm doing. So I'm looking for the last 5 years, which is 1,250 periods. I'm going to use daily data. If I wanted to, I can uncheck this exchange date and time and customize that if I want to. If I were running 2 at a time, I can take the results from the first and then take those results and run the second one automatically. I'm just doing this to keep things a little simple here so we can show you how to find different trading opportunities. So then we'll click on Start Exploration. And what this does is it scans for those 4 types of indicators over the entire S&P 500. And this is using online data. You can see it runs very quickly. If I actually had my downloaded prior to be done. But you can tell it's a good 30 seconds for 500 stocks. And that's kind of the biggest thing that I really like in MetaStock. One of the biggest tools that I use and it's also the one I use the least because it does take hardly any time at all to find some good trading opportunities. I'm gonna go ahead and make the screen a little bigger on here. So let's go with the stochastic as the momentum indicators. All of the symbols that have a number 1 in the column means that they've triggered an alert. And I want to make this list and kind of work off that for a bit. So I can highlight all of those, and I'm going to go ahead and right click on the highlighted symbols. And I'm going to click on Add to Custom List. And let's do DD Webinar. And I'm going to go ahead and click Create. And I'll click OK. I'm going to minimize this for now because I want to go in, and now I'm going to open up the chart. So now I've gotten a list of what I want to look at because I found some opportunities based on the momentum indicator scan. So I want to go back to my list here, which is DD Webinar. Before I do that, I'm going to go ahead and close all. I don't want to save those. I'm actually going to reset my smart charts. And the way you do that for current MetaStock users, this will make sense. For those of you that don't use MetaStock, it won't. File, delete smart charts, say yes, and then click on OK. Now let's just reset back to my default template that I saved earlier. So it's going to open up that way, but I'm going to actually do something else before I go back to that default template. So I'm going to go ahead and click on my symbols or my list. I can just check that box. I don't have to open it and check them individually. And then what I want to do is actually apply that to my chart. So there's not a template set up for that, but all I have to do is just scroll down the list to the M's and, sorry, went too far. And we'll go ahead and just click on momentum indicators. I'll click on open chart, and it opens up the chart, still as a default chart, but it's going to have what we call our expert advisor. And that's kind of going back to my PowerPoint. That's after I've, done some charting, I did some scanning, and I found some opportunities to where I wanted to actually inspect those and see if those would be good for my type of trading style. So I'm going to go ahead and click back. I still have my indicators that I wanted, or I had on there earlier, so I didn't have to go and redo that again. But this one's nice because I've gotten a MACD, I've had stochastic RSI on here, and it's really just makes things a lot simpler and helps me really get to the trading aspect, which is the whole point to helping make money in the market without me having to second guess my trades. If maybe somebody recommended a symbol to trade and I didn't have MetaStock, it would be kind of like flying blind without, or driving a car without, I guess I should say flying blind because it's really how it is. I'm going to go ahead and just click on tile view, which is just right up here. But we have one from Amazon as well. We just had some MACD signals. And that's actually kind of nice because then I can use the MACD indicator as well and confirm that. Well, my CCI was heading down, didn't get any CCIs, but I had one right there for a alert to get in or out, depending on what side you're going in. And then you had your MACD, which had a crossing of the two lines. Most of us know how to read that, but basically what the MACD is, it's the moving average convergence divergence. So when the signal line, which is our blue line here, goes above the red or vice versa below it, then that's going to be an entry point. And what's really neat with MetaStock is we're really the only company that does this, is we have what we call our expert advisor commentary window. And the way you open that, I had already opened it and I didn't explain what I was doing there. So I'm going to go ahead and just right click on the chart anywhere, and then you choose expert advisor commentary, and it'll open up the commentary window for me. Then I can put it wherever I want. But it's nice because if let's say I did have a CCI or an RSI, I can come over here and go ahead and just click above the signal, and it'll tell you over here when the last signal was for each individual indicator. So that part's pretty neat as well, actually really nice. So the divergence had 5 periods ago, the commodity had one, or had a sell 0 periods ago. The RSI, because we are already on the RSI right now, we had one 0 periods ago. The stochastic was 4. So this is a great way to identify momentum in the market, to really analyze your charts and know when you should get in and out, depending on how you want to analyze and what you want to do. That part's really up to you, but I like to show this one because it really helps me see the momentum in the market. There's a lot of different indicators out there that we can use, but I like to keep things a little simple in the beginning, just because it just makes things a little easier to read. So that's why I really like this one. And, you know, like I said earlier, you can look for things like volatility and volume and those types of indicators as well. Speaking of volume, let's actually put that on the chart. So I'm going to go ahead and drag and drop that again. Okay. So now anytime that I have an up or down day, this will color it that way. But I want to make it a little bit thicker on the lines. That way I don't have to zoom in too far for everybody to see. So you can see which days are up and which days are down. That's really nice to identify those days in the market, to know where you're going to be the next day. And then over here, for those of you that use MetaStock real time or want to use real time, you can see that you can also change it over to an intraday time frame by just clicking on that. I think that right now it has IMs for intraday, minute, 30, and then I can do hourly or 240, or you can customize your own. And the ones that have been customized are down here because it keeps those in the custom time frame or the periodicity change. You can do an hourly or however you want to do it. So all of these systems and all these things that I'm showing you today, you can do in either daily charts or weekly or intraday charts, anything you really want to. So that's one that I really like to show. And now that I know which ones I want to actually trade with, I can go back and inspect those further. But that's just on the current situation in these charts. How do I know how well that would have done before I actually put any real money on here? So that's really the power tool of MetaStock. Another power tool, excuse me, is the back tester. You know, how do you really know how well that would have tested in the past? How much money would you have made over the last 5 years or 2 months or whatever you want to do? So to do that, we're going to go ahead and click on System Test. And then I'm going to do a search again for momentum indicators. And we'll just come down here and click Box. And don't know 100% how good this one's going to look, but I like to show really just everything that, or how you would use the program. You know, it may not show the greatest report, but at least then I'll know how well that would do over the last year or so, or however long I want to go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the last 1250 periods, which is 5 years. That way I got really get a good readout of the trend momentum. Right now it's kind of up and down the market, so it's a little harder right now to grab those opportunities, but obviously the money's still there to take advantage of, and this will really help you and give you more confidence if the stocks that you're doing this test on are going to be profitable or not. So I'm going to go ahead and just click on trade options right here because I want to show this window real quick. This is basically just shows the reports in the system tester. If you want to look at the account tab, that's how you want to do your test. If you're a futures or options trader, you want to check this points only test. But if you're stocks or ETFs, then you want to choose the, you want to uncheck that, excuse me. And so I'm just going to do 100,000. Let's lower that. And you want to do this realistically, how much you have in your account. And let's say instead of 50%, I want to trade, yeah, let's do 15 at any time I want to be in the trade. So then we can click on broker. This really doesn't mean much to stock and ETF traders anymore just because there's no transaction cost. But if you want to trade based on margins, this is where you can edit that around. And then trade execution, you can go in and change this if you want to from the buy price and the sell price, etc. You just uncheck realistic market prices. To keep things simple, I'm just gonna keep that checked, but I like to show that so you know what you can do in here. So we'll go ahead and click OK. Then I'll start the system test. It's gonna be pretty quick. So let's take a look at the results. So not the greatest one, but it did show me which one would have given me the most gain. So it looks like number 7, sorry, the symbol in the list. Yeah, because I had 8. Okay, so then let's dive in here. You can kind of see on a really short summary, like your overall net profit, your percent gain, how many trades, profitable versus losses. And expand this out so everybody can see it. And then I'm going to go ahead and just click into it. Before I do that, actually, I want to run another one, but I'm going to use the NASDAQ, 100 symbol, or so 100 list. And let's just kind of get a different readout versus the one that I had ran my scan on. So we'll click on, as you saw, MetaStock just remembered exactly the same test that I did. I didn't have to go and recheck everything or make any changes. This one takes a little bit longer just because there's more symbols in there, but still saw that it was a pretty quick test. Oops. I think I clicked off of it on accident. All right, there we go. So this way I can actually kind of show you a little bit better. So that's a little better just because there were a lot more symbols that I was testing. I mean, when I only have 8 symbols that I want to do a test on, or even 1, it's not going to show as much data, but I do like to show both views. So let's go off this list first, and then I'll show you the other one. They're basically going to give you the same information. So your profit was 5,200. If you would have done your annualized performance was 50%, your annualized, or sorry, your buy and hold profit was 7,600, well, 7,638. So it actually would have made more money if you had done a buy and hold. I don't know a lot of people that actually do that nowadays, just because of the way the market is. So in my opinion, this would have actually been pretty a good system to use if I was trading Moderna. And then then you have like your profit loss, your total trade efficiency, longs. I didn't do any shorts, so I did those at 0. So that's probably why I had more gainers than winners, but I'm not actually, sorry, more gainers than losers, but I'm not really sure. I can rerun it here in just a second. Average profit, highest profit, it just gives your whole entire back test, and it's really nice of showing you how well that would have done, this particular indicator or indicators would have done if you would have taken all the trades. And again, I don't know anybody that would have taken every single trade. And I don't know a lot of people that do any buy and holding anymore, just because that's not really an effective way of trading much nowadays, unless you're really just a long-term investor. Then that would make sense. So yeah, then you have your different tabs up here. We've got orders, so you can click on that. We can see which ones we actually placed, executed, if they're a buy or a sell, so on and so forth. Positions, basically anything to the right side is in the positive, which is giving you a efficiency reading as well. So this first one right here, of what price you bought in, what bar, your efficiency, commission. We didn't have any, obviously, your total value and what you would have made off that particular trade. Same thing, you can go over to each of these if you want to. With the list is pretty big, I'm not going to go into each one individually. And then if you come over here to the equity line, you can, this is what I like to call the map, starting from point A to point B. Well, I started at 110,000. Over that course of the back test, I made a little over 5,000, so just over 15,000. So in any case, the one good thing is I was able to grow my account based on the use of the particular system within MetaStock. A lot of people always ask me what our formula language is. Maybe you want to create your own system type situation. So if you want to look at our formula language, a lot of the code is open and you can just click on system right here. This will give you the readout of the formula, the definition, what it's doing, those kinds of things. So, but that in a short nutshell is how the backtester works and how you can really test your system to see if it's going to work with your trades. But I do want to go back really quick and find the first one that we did. And let's go into the very first one on here. Oops, net profit. We'll click on there. This one actually, you doubled if you would have just done a bought and hold on Solar Edge Tech, SEDG. But again, we did total longs, we did 42 trades, didn't do any shorts. And then my average profit was 129, highest is 726. And then I don't need to go and re-explain everything, but gives you your average loss, your buy and hold percentage, your efficiency, different things like that. You can come over here, and what I really like to pay attention to is my equity line. I mean, if I had made any money over the course of that time, then that's going to be a plus, in my opinion. But everybody's different. I mean, the way you can actually write your own backtest, you can do however it is you want with the backtester, and that's kind of where the power of MetaStock comes in too. So let's go ahead and close that. I'm going to go ahead and close this as well. Okay, and then the forecasting, I'm going to spend just a tiny bit of time in there, which is part of one of the really big power tools. Actually, before I get into the forecaster, let's go into options. So we're going to go and talk a little bit about options. For those of you that are options traders, this is a really fantastic tool. It gives you the ability to customize your filter. So if I want to look for options that are expiring in the next 90 days or 30 or 7 or whatnot, let's just do the next 30 days. And we'll just leave it at 10% strike price. And we're going to do weekly options. Now, all we have to do is we're going to choose let's go in and look. Oh, sorry. Let's just do IBM. Oop. I don't know. Let's let me look at Apple options, so we'll do that one. Okay. So then I can click on Open Option Scope. And I can change these filters once I have Option Scope open. I don't have to leave it like that. So this is a newer tool that we released, I think it was 3 versions ago. But it was always something that our customers wanted. So these are all of the puts and calls. So I've got my calls here on the left side. The ones that are highlighted are in the money. The ones that aren't are out of the money. But you can come in here. Actually, I want to make sure I'm right in there. I do not trade options, so I want to give you the right information. Yeah, so I can say show me the ones that are in the money, ones that are out of the money. So these are the ones in, and I was right. So these are the ones in. These are the ones that are black are the ones that you're out of the money. So I'm just making sure I did that right. But up here, it's really nice. So you can see how many you have puts and calls. We've got the volume on both sides. You've got your bid last percent change, net change volume. And then a lot of the times what you want to look for when you're trading options is implied volatility and open interest. So you can sort it by the most implied volatility to the least amount of volatility, implied volatility, excuse me, or the most open interest to the least amount as well. So that part's quite nice. And you can organize these from top to lows or however you want to. Then you've got all of your strike prices. The Greeks, a lot of options traders like to look at those as well. And you've got them right here. You've got just the delta, looks like right now. I think somebody's actually came in here and yeah, they've actually hidden the other ones, but you can look at the deltas, the gammas, the theta, rho, all of that as well. And it's just a really nice way of organizing your options. It's a lot easier and a little cleaner, in my opinion, than what I can get in my broker platform. Again, I don't trade options, but I know I use Thinkorswim for my trading, or TD Ameritrade, excuse me, which does also have Thinkorswim with it. If I was an options trader, this keeps it a little more simple, in my opinion. But then also, if you like to use your own different strategies, you've got different option strategies here. You got your bull, your bear put spread, or if you want to do your bear call spread, and it'll basically just give you a description of what that particular strategy is and what it does. So anyway, so covered call, long put, long straddle, married put, short straddle. You've got all those automatically, and this comes within option scope in the MetaStock, and that's why we call it one of the power tools, because we really want to give everybody all of the tools that are possible to analyze the market, to help you know which options you should trade, which ones are probably not the best for trading. But this is really nice in a grid format. I also want to see this in a chart. So let's say I want to grab, I want to grab the May 3rd call. So I can double click that and it'll open up the spread if I want to use that particular one, or actually can look at it inside of MetaStock. I want to make sure I did that right. Oops, there it is. Oh, I know why. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So this opened up Apple. The particular option itself, if you want to change your candlesticks over to lines, a lot of the times people like to do that when they're analyzing options. But you can also chart the actual chain itself instead of just the stock, the underlying security for Apple. And then you can use your own indicators or however you want to do it. But it's really nice for options traders to look at that in an actual chart versus just a grid view like it has right here. So those are some really nice things within MetaStock. Us as traders, if you're an options trader, that part is really a helpful tool because you're going to know which calls are going to be in, out of the money. You can analyze the deltas. You can look at the implied volatility, which is always a big thing for options traders to look at. But I thought the part is really cool within the option scope. You can come down here and choose, okay, I want to do a covered call strategy, and you can double click it and it'll plot the covered call strategy on there. But on top of it, it also opens the chart for me too. So I thought that was something that was really neat, and they added that to MetaStock 18. So now that we've kind of talked a little bit about options, and we've talked about, the options tool, we've talked about the system tester to find out how well that would have done. Excuse me, lost my train of thought for a second. Now we really want to know, okay, so I've got my list of those 8 symbols. Now I could use that to trade. I've tested it to see how well it would have done. I had a couple symbols that I could use for my trading. So if I go back, oops, if I go back to my list there, just want to make sure I'm back on that. Okay. And I'm going to close all these first. Okay. So now I can go in, and I believe the one that I had was Solar Edge. So now I know that I want to use my momentum indicators. I've already got bits applied to the chart. That was the one that I found tested the best and also looked the best on the scan. So I can add this into my custom watch list now. And this is the one that I'll keep on there until I see that it's not really doing well and making money. So now I would have never found this if I didn't use MetaStock and didn't have my scanning tool, my back testing, to know exactly how well that would have done over the last 5 years. But also it's a really good way to analyze the momentum in the market. I mean, yeah, we have been choppy lately, but you still could have made, or have the opportunity to make money in the market by using these different tools inside the software. So now that I've got all that, I want to open up my forecasting tool. I'm going to go ahead and just right click and choose forecaster. That way I don't have to go back to the Power Console and open it from there. It'll just open it right from the chart. And this is looking at past events is what we call it. For example, like 52-week low, moving average, 50 leap up, moving average, 200 cross down. All these different events are going to be displayed on the chart up here. And I'm going to zoom in a little bit here so you can see a little clearer. Okay, so inside the forecaster, you have different options as far as like what we call the event recognizers. So I want to look for highest profit potential, long only, short only, most accurate current forecast. We could do that. Click on that, and then it just rescans itself. It's the 52-week low again. Then it goes into the moving averages, and we've got MACD as well. But on the other side of the coin, you've got what we call our forecast cloud. And you really want to look for these really bright colors on the forecast cloud. And you can see the legend over here on the right side where it shows the percentage or probability of the prices heading in the current direction. So in this case, if I were to look at the last signal, it's event marker 6, and I plot the cloud on there, I can actually click on it and it'll plot where the prices are expected to go. In this case, it's expected to fall. But this one is also showing, the probability of it being very high probability of prices heading up. But both of them are really helpful to analyze where the prices are, where they're expected to go. And it just try to explain this the best way I can. I don't use it a ton, but I really do like the tool. It really does help me or help us as traders know where the market is heading. We didn't have any current recognizers off the 52-week low, but if we go over to the moving average, this will probably be a little better for you because that one's a little closer. Let's go over here. And then I can check out the forecast cloud again. Not as many bright colors in here, but you can see over here on a kind of percentage basis what the probability is and where you should put your stops, or if you should be on the long or short side. Those different kinds of things are very important to all of us as traders because that's always the key question and key ingredient is getting out of the trade. A lot of us can get in just fine, but what MetaStock is going to do, and really the powerful part of the program, is helping you identify how long you should stay in the trade and where you should get out. The forecast cloud does a great job of that with the volume, with the price and volume and the event markers on here. You can see where prices were, where they're headed to go. This last one, this event, if we want to actually plot the forecast cloud on there, you can see that the prices were heading in that right direction. So it kind of came over here, and a little bit of a, I guess you call it column consolidation, then broke down and then went back up. So where it was forecasted right over here was actually a perfect area to look for. There's actually some really good YouTube videos on, YouTube videos on our YouTube page, which you should definitely like and subscribe. But the person that created this in our office, he did a little short interview with one of the other employees, and it was actually very informative and helped me understand the forecaster a little bit more. But there are also some others that explain the forecaster in more detail. And if you're not using this, I definitely would watch those videos because it does give you a lot of really good information and helps you visualize on these charts that are pre-built into the forecasting tool to help you know where prices are currently and where they are expected to go. And you can scan based on your, I shouldn't use the word scan, but you can look for ones that have the highest profit potential, the most accurate current forecasts, like I already showed you. So a lot of things that you can do within the program. You're probably not going to use every single one of these when you're making your trading decisions. Like I was saying earlier, the big one that I like to use a lot is the scanning tool. But trading in a sense is a science, but I like to show this one slide that I actually really like. This guy's name is Richard Dennis. He was a futures trader back in the 80s. One of the systems that we have inside MetaStock was based on his work, and he put an ad in the paper that he wanted to hire it was 4 or 5 people that didn't necessarily need to have financial backgrounds or trading backgrounds. And what he did is he hired these individuals, gave them $100,000, told them his system and how to use it. And over the course of, I don't remember the amount of time, I believe it was a few years, but they doubled the money that he had given them to trade with. Anyway, here's one of the little quotes that he did, or that he said. I always say you could publish rules in a newspaper and no one would follow them. The key is consistency and discipline, which is very true. If we don't have the discipline and the consistency and stick to a system that we know works, that we've tested that works, that's why the testing tool, the scanning ability, or the ability to scan for those trading opportunities, is a key player in your trading. What am I trying to say? In your type of trading identification. So, and that's all really nice, because then you know exactly where to put your money the most. You know how to make your decisions. You have clear points or indications where you should be trading and when you should be trading, if you should be out of the trade, if you shouldn't place the trade at all. Speaking of Richard Dennis, I wanted to go and talk a little bit about the system that's also built into MetaStock that he created. It's called the Turtle Trader method. And we're going to use the Explorer because I don't know if my list that I had earlier is going to be the exact same. So I'm going to come up here and search for Turtle Trader Hybrid, and we'll click on that. And let's use the S&P 500 again. Click on Start Exploration. And this will go in and find any opportunities for on the long and the short side on the market. So it necessarily doesn't, excuse me, fumbling over my words, doesn't necessarily need either on the long or short, but it's going to show us both. And this is really nice to get a good list list on the S&P 500 what stocks are better for me to trade. If I'm more of a long trader, if I'm a short trader, if I'm an options trader, and I want to first analyze the underlying security, then decide whether to get in or out. It's a great way to do that. So like I'd explained before, anything that has a 1 on it is giving me a buy. In this case, I'm going to save this list. I don't need to go in and re-explain everything again. I will just do the turtle. And we'll click OK, create. OK. So now I can go and apply these to my charts. So I'm going to click back on my chart. And I could have opened them directly from that window if I wanted to. I just had a lot of results, so I didn't want to open too many at a time. So just try the first one on here, and instead of the momentum, we're going to do the turtle. So I'm going to go ahead and just click down here. Turtle Trader Hybrid by MetaStock. Click on OK. Open chart. And what I really like about this one, so we've got a buy signal here based on the scan that I ran. What I like about this is within MetaStock and also the Turtle Trader, the commentary window is great. The Turtle Trader method is based on 20-bar high and lows and uses 10-bar stop prices. But it tells you everything here. So you don't have to be very efficient with this particular system. That's what I really like about MetaStock, that it really just gives you all the information right here, so you know where you should be, if you should be on the buy side or the sell side. And we've got our buy and sell monitor. So we've gotten a buy signal on this particular candle because I had a 20-bar high breakout, and then it tells me where I want to put my sell signal or where I want to do put my stops, etc. But if I was still in a short trade, I want to be out at this point. So that's a really good warning to see if you are on the short side still, to get it, close all of your open trades because you got a new signal. Same thing on the short trade monitor. If you are any short trades, then you want to make sure you got that you're exited out of all of those. But it has your sell prices right here at 111. My second stop price would be 112. So you can set these up the way you want. What I actually really liked, an indicator that actually goes along with this particular expert, is I'm trying to find what it's actually called. It's the turtle fair bands. Oops. Oh, there he is. Okay, so now I'll just drag and drop these on the chart. Since we got a longer buy entry, I'm going to choose 1 for long position. Click on OK. We're going to do assume merge scale or split scale on right if I want. You can change that however you want, but we'll just do it that way for now. So it gives me the value of the bands. I mean, they're very similar to Bollinger Bands, but they're not exactly the same. Basically, the way it works is when you get a signal in this particular situation, as you saw back here, anytime it starts crossing over the candle, then that will be an entry signal. If once it leaves that is when you get out of the trade. So however you want to analyze these is up to you, but once it crosses that area of the candle, then that's going to be a buy entry, or in this case, a sell entry, and you're using the bottom one down here. So it's just an additional confirmation other than the indicators that you might have on the chart if you want to do that. Then what I can do, let's say I really like this system, it's done well for me, I've made a decent amount of money. Before I actually do that, I want to change it over to a 30-minute chart. We can all look at it in a shorter time frame and really identify those strong signals. Those are great setup right here. And the other thing too that I like about this system is if the condition continues to be true, then it will give you more than one buy entry. So let's say I didn't buy into this, but I got in a little bit later. Then I had another signal come in, and that would just be maybe like a re-entry signal to help me know to put more money on my trade or to take advantage of that extra opportunity. And it really is visual here, where you can see all your stop signals on here. You've got your buy to cover signals, which are these little 10 markers on here, or sell to cover as well. So now that let's say one really cool, neat tool that I really like in MetaStock is saving this as a template. So instead of using it as a default template, anytime I want to save it or apply this to my trades, my charts. So I'm going to actually go ahead and click on File, New, and we're going to do Layout. And we'll just click on Add, click on OK. And then I'm going to actually save this. And now that I've got that saved, I want to actually save it as a template. So WT, and I'll just name it the same thing, DD. And then we'll click on save. So now let's say I open up Amazon. Actually, Amazon was in the list too. But apply template, I'm going to do clean. Oh, sorry, now I can actually choose apply template. And I can scroll down and find mine in there. So here's mine, DD. Just makes things a lot simpler, so I don't have to go and reapply the indicators. I have it all here in the chart. And that's really kind of the end point of all this, is making your trading less stressful, because it really helps me, and everybody that uses MetaStock to take advantage of those opportunities that are in the market. And that's why I like to show these systems. They're very simple, but they're easy to use as well. MetaStock as a whole is a lot more power than what I was able to show you today. But for those of you that may not be on the current version of MetaStock, we've got some really good sale prices going on right now as well. But for those of you that don't have MetaStock, I like to show, let me get into my webinar. We talked about all this. I don't want to talk about this. All right. So if those of you that want to sign up for MetaStock, you actually have a really good promotion right now going on where you get 3 months for the price of one. You pay for the first and your next 2 are free. With your MetaStock subscription, you get all of this. You get unlimited support, unlimited access to recorded training, free white glove installation, meaning that if you want somebody to help you install the program and answer any additional questions, they'll actually spend an hour with you going over opening charts, running scans. Maybe you want to talk to them a little more about the forecaster and understand that. It's not considered a coaching session, but it's really just kind of like an intro to MetaStock to help our new customers get started as well, or to help our customers get started. But the offer that we have, like I said, you get 3 months for the price of one. And the cost on that depends if you're real time or end of day. End of day will be 69 and real time starts at 265 plus any exchange fees. But the whole point is to really like those of you that aren't using MetaStock or that aren't on our current version, if you want to try out the new version, and you probably saw some of the things that I'm doing in there that you may not have access to. But it really want you to try it out because it's a great program. I thoroughly believe in it. If I didn't, I wouldn't be here anymore. But I really know the power of the program, be it if you're a stock trader, a futures trader, if you're just more into charts and indicators. There's so many different things that you can do, but we've made it available to really match up to what you want to do for each individual trader. And that's really what we strive in here at MetaStock, is help our customers make money. That way they'll continue with our program and they really can see how powerful it is. And I definitely want to make sure that you got the most out of MetaStock here, or sorry, the most out of the class today too. But for those of you that aren't are MetaStock users and or want to try it out, that's definitely what I would recommend. Really just give it a thorough try. I mean, you're going to have 3 months for the price of one. Plus, for anybody that wants to upgrade, you have that option as well. And I definitely really like the new version of MetaStock. But for those of you that don't have this already, we actually have a mastery training course through a company called learnmetastock.com. And the person over there, his name's Kevin. He does a fantastic job of helping our new customers, existing customers, or customers that just want to maybe a little more push into learning more about MetaStock. He does 3 live classes a week. I go for about an hour and a half, depending on that. But he has different formula downloads that he has created as well. So maybe he'll show a different back test or one that he custom created. He has an actual download for that to put it into MetaStock. All of it's going to work with MetaStock 18 if you are a current user or if you do upgrades. But he's got his basic, his expert videos, system testing videos, 5 videos on just using stops, exploration videos, advanced formula writing if you want to get into that. Talks about the RMO, which is one of our popular systems inside of MetaStock, different trading strategies. And there's just so much more. The list goes on and on. He's already adding new content and changing around his website to make it a little more easy to go through the different videos and organizing it a little better for new customers. But that kind of concludes the webinar. If you have any questions, I'll stick around for a little bit. Here's my contact information. I really would like to hear from any of you if you want to try out MetaStock, if you're already a user and maybe want to upgrade, definitely can get into more detail on that topic. Or if you just simply want to try it out, or if you want to add Learn MetaStock to your account, we can definitely do that too. That's a great service. I appreciate everybody's time and hope you enjoy the rest of your day, and we'll see you next time. Make sure to click that subscribe button if you're not already a subscriber to MetaStock. And yeah, appreciate you coming. Appreciate you spending an hour with me this afternoon / early evening, depending on where you were. Thanks again, and I hope you all enjoy the rest of your day.
Hi, Kelly Clement here from MetaStock. I hope you enjoyed today's video, and I hope you found it instructive and informative. If you did, what I'd like to invite you to do is go ahead and like and subscribe. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. It helps us a great deal, and it helps us bring you more awesome content like today's video. So go ahead and like and subscribe, and keep on watching.